I worked at a remote radio station in Alaska, and I heard a transmission I was never meant to. It was supposed to be just another lonely night at a forgotten radio station. But at 2:47 a.m., my radio picked up something that came from nowhere, and I haven't slept peacefully since. His name was Daniel Rourke, 52 years old, and by choice he lived at the edge of the world. He wasn't born in Alaska. No one is by choice. But he came after losing everything he loved. WFBXM sits in a concrete shack surrounded by frostbitten pines, about 40 minutes from Fairbanks on a rarely used dirt road. Snow covers everything with a thick silence, the kind that makes you hear your own thoughts, or what's hiding between them. Daniel had always been drawn to radio waves. A former military communications technician, he'd worked in rescue missions and remote bases. Now, he spent nights monitoring local frequencies, sending out weather bulletins for miners, fishermen, and solitary hunters. That night, the cold was brutal. Minus 27 degrees Celsius. Daniel sipped stale coffee from a chipped mug, reading an old book on Inuit archaeology. The station was quiet, only the usual static from the shortwave radio. Then, it happened. At exactly 2:47 a.m., a strange noise broke the feed. It wasn't a glitch, it was intentional. A metallic hum followed by sharp clicks, and then a voice. Not English, not Russian, something else. Rhythmic, distorted, repeating. Nakala, Enuviera, Kethrayan. A whisper pulled from the belly of the earth. Daniel paused the auto feed and recorded the frequency. He checked the panel. No origin code, no prefix, no source. The sound came from nowhere. He ran standard checks, generator, antennas, triangulation. Nothing. The sound was gone, but the damage was done. Daniel had heard strange things before, ghost signals, satellite echoes, even stray pilot chatter. But this was different. While reviewing the tape, a memory smashed into his mind. The voice was familiar. Something he heard as a child during a blizzard in Michigan. His father, also a radio operator, disappeared in 1979, and before that, used to say there was something in the waves buried beneath. He had long dismissed that memory as childhood fiction. Until now. The next morning, Daniel sent the recording to an old cryptographer friend, Samuel Torres, now retired and living in Anchorage. They used a secure satellite line. Samuel replied within 30 minutes. Shut everything down. Now. Daniel called immediately. No answer. Not that day, not the next. Samuel had vanished. Instead of obeying, Daniel dove deeper. Something inside him needed to know. He filtered the audio, slowed it down, examined waveforms. Amid the static, there was a pattern. 3 beats. A code. He found his father's old journals, buried in a metal box under the bed. One entry, dated November 3, 1979, read, "If you ever hear the 313 sequence, run. They're still alive down there." Down where? Daniel whispered. Then he noticed something chilling. The transmission he recorded had occurred at 2:47 a.m. November 3rd, exactly 44 years later. In the days that followed, Daniel became obsessed. Sleep-deprived, he analyzed every second of the tape, cross-referenced old signal maps. But most disturbingly, he began to crave the voice, like a memory begging to be awakened. Samuel never responded. But an old Air Force colleague, Morris Keller, did. "You picked that up from Fairbanks?" That frequency showed up in '63. It was blacked out, related to something called deep echo. It was above top secret. If that signal's back, something's wrong under that ground. Just don't go to Station Zero. That place should never be reopened. Daniel didn't know what Station Zero was yet. While digging through station archives, Daniel found a brittle folder hidden behind the equipment wall. Inside, a map. Yellowed, frayed edges. In one corner, barely legible. USAF Site Z Protocol 313C. It marked a location 28 kilometers from the station, deep in the boreal forest. No road access. Labeled as a decommissioned weather research facility. But on the back, stamped in red, containment. This wasn't a lab. It was a cage. On November 6th, Daniel woke to a deep, bone-vibrating hum. The station's antenna was capturing the same signal, without being powered on. He cut power. Backup. Battery. Still the sound pulsed from the walls. He recorded it again. But when replayed, the tape was blank. Yet he could still hear it. Even in silence. He began losing time. One night, he awoke outside in the snow. No memory of how he got there. No footprints. The dreams worsened. Visions of ice caverns, metallic chambers underground, symbols pulsing with light. Desperate, he played an old reel found months ago inside a locked vault marked USAF property. It hissed to life. The same pattern. Same voice. Same words. But the reel was from 1961. And more horrifying. The voice said his name. Daniel. Rourke, you heard us. He replayed the tape. The voice was gone. Only static. Armed with the map, Daniel trekked through the forest to Site Z. Sub-zero temperatures. Disoriented compass. GPS scrambled. At the site, buried beneath the snow, he found a rusted metal hatch. Chain shut once, now broken. The air below was stale. Cold. Pressurized. Inside, a concrete hall, rusted terminals, shattered monitors. On the wall, scrawled by hand. 313. Don't respond. Don't listen. They lie. In the center, a metal chair facing a glass chamber. It was empty. But Daniel felt something watching. The cold deepened. His nose bled. His eyes stung. He ran. Back at the station, he found the lights on. He hadn't left them that way. And then he wasn't alone. Someone sat at the console, back turned. Who's there? He called. The figure slowly turned. An old man. Pale. Air Force uniform. Lifeless eyes. His father. Exactly as he looked in 1979. He whispered, "You heard it? And now, they come." The lights flickered. The radio turned on by itself. 313 hertz. Daniel collapsed. 3 days. That's how long Daniel was trapped inside the station without realizing it. Security footage showed him broadcasting 3 times. But the voice wasn't his. In one clip at 2:47 a.m. he sits unnaturally still. Head tilted. Smiling slightly. He whispers, "We are returning, they remembered me." He begins dreaming of the same corridor each night. Walls of ancient symbols glowing softly. At the end, a steel door. Etched on it, 3-1-3. Each time he wakes before opening it. Until he doesn't. Inside, a boy. Crying. Alone. Looking exactly like young Daniel. "You promised they wouldn't take us again." He wakes screaming. On the floor, under his bed, he finds a box he's never seen. Inside, a photo of himself, age 5, in front of a military base he doesn't remember. On the back, Fairbanks, Base Z, Project Rourke. Subject number 2. He's losing his mind. Mirrors lag his reflection. Radios activate without power. His voice deepens in recordings. He sends the tape to a pirate radio tech in Canada. Reply: "This isn't a normal frequency. The waveforms mimic human brain signals. It's not just sound. It's invasive." The signal is inside him. One night, his father appears again. "You saw it as a child. We erased you. But the station called you back." In the basement, Daniel finds a final file. Signed in 1961. Project 313 Echo of the Abyss. Children. Test subjects. Neural resonance testing. Daniel was one of them. In the station? Not just a facility. A living antenna. He tries to flee. The road never ends. The GPS loops. He always ends up back, at the station. In the mirror, his reflection doesn't move with him. It smiles. The transmission lives inside him now. Touching metal causes vibration. The signal uses his body. In a hidden safe, he finds one last letter. From Dr. Ian Markoff. Subject number 2 shows unusual response. He hears the signal even in silence. We won't return him. He is the first complete echo. When reactivated, he will open the channel. Daniel is the key. 313 Hz wasn't a glitch. It was a command. He returns to Site C. But it has changed. New corridors. Blue lights pulsing. An elevator. Level -13. At the bottom, a sealed, untouched lab. And a woman, skin like glass, white hair, coal eyes. You returned. As expected. She is Dr. Markoff's daughter. She never left. She shows him the core. A ring of metal. Suspended. Surrounded by pillars inscribed in alien script. This is the echo. It opens only for a complete echo, like you. Inside the reels. Children. Experiments. Voices responding before questions are asked. Consciousness traveling through frequency. She says, 313 doesn't come from space. It's from before time. The first scream of the universe. You didn't hear it, you remembered it. He sees himself on tape. Age 5. Reciting the transmission. The chamber pulses. The signal intensifies. From behind glass, his father. Still alive. Kept as the anchor. I sent the signal. Needed you to remember. Now it's your turn. Daniel enters the second capsule. The chamber locks. 313 Hz hits peak. The portal opens. On the other side, no monsters, no demons. Just a white field. Rippling. Endless. Voices. All who heard. All who answered. Among them, his mother's voice. You've been here before? 2 buttons appear. Close. Transmit. He decides. Silence. Fade to black. Epilogue. The final transmission. Daniel Rourke was never seen again. The station was found melted from the inside. No fire. No power. Only one thing remained untouched. A tape recorder. Inside. One final recording. 3 minutes, 13 seconds. No audible sound. But listeners report strange dreams. On the envelope, a single phrase. Those who hear, never forget. Some secrets weren't meant to be uncovered. They were meant to echo for eternity. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the new videos.